Hey everyone, so just kind of like just the second part of the videos I was making because the first one went on too long. Yeah, I was just kind of making a video about the example that we gave on the page earlier on of people having to kind of deal with maybe stuff that other people are saying or making remarks about diet, or kind of just maybe having their own set opinions and passing it on to you, or telling you you're doing something wrong or anything like that. And like really, I mean, nutrition is just a bit of a minefield. It's a weird one because even obviously I'm dealing with clients all day, every day, and chatting and that. But like, if I'm out at a dinner or a party or something like that, like I'll avoid it nearly as well. That's not something nutrition isn't something I'll discuss in depth with people basically, unless it's kind of asked of me, because it's just a bit of a minefield, and people are very set in their ways, and people have very strong opinions on it, which I find it's kind of funny because as a profession, it's quite different. I mean, if you went into work, like the example today, and told someone you were getting your countertops done in your kitchen or something, or you were getting a new, I don't know, new plumbing or new carpentry or something done at home, like people wouldn't necessarily offer their opinion, and or five different people from work wouldn't come in and give you their own opinion on what they do. It's kind of just left to the left to the professionals really. But nutrition is obviously different because it's I guess it's more mainstream. It's in the public eye, and there is a lot of conflicting information out there. So obviously people have varying different things, and maybe discuss it more and kind of volunteer their opinion. And we've had examples before on the page where people have had to deal with more difficult situations really. So I might put a post up and see if we share some of those, because really, like, what we want to do and create with the nutrition in particular is obviously create an environment on the page where people can like constantly just ask questions and know things and figure out things, and like sift through information, or have us give our opinions on different things, so that you don't have to, because it's obviously quite difficult, because there's just so much crap out there. So, I mean, really where that stems from is, like, my ideal scenario is that everyone has complete confidence in what we do. And, like, to have that confidence, you really probably have to, one, understand it, like, and know about it. So the next time you hear something that someone is saying, you're like, well, no, I know that's not true because I've read all the information. Because we've tons of information there in terms of the booklets and stuff. So I would always, like, refer back to those. But then, other than that, ask questions, and we always want to harbour that environment where people can ask questions, and there's no question that's silly, or there's no question that shouldn't be asked or anything, like, and even if we're answering them like more than once, it doesn't matter. It's always beneficial to go through it and see it from someone else's angle. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's with nutrition in general, it's just a funny one that people always have their opinion, and people are very strongly minded about their opinion usually when it comes to nutrition. So I mean, I guess I would just always advise people, like, not to take any of it personally. Obviously, people will always kind of have their own thing, and there's just, I guess, like, it's been hard to identify, but people naturally want something to work. People want shortcuts, essentially, and this is like a different topic, but our natural instinct is to try and do things faster, quicker, easier. People naturally want shortcuts, and I think the majority of people, like myself included, we're lazy in a way. We want something to be quicker and easier, and just be like, okay, that's working. And when it comes to nutrition, if somebody is overweight, a lot of times people don't want to necessarily face up to the fact that, like, it's their own doing, and whether they've been misinformed and doing something wrong, or just maybe haven't been disciplined, or whatever it is. And again, I'm guilty of that too, where, if I go and have a bad month to put on weight, I'll make some sort of excuse. But, like, the reality is it was my doing that caused that. And so to be told that, like, say, oh, this is the new diet, this is what's working for everyone, this is what you should do, like, it always flicks a switch for people to be like, well, I wasn't wrong then, I was just doing the wrong diet, or it wasn't my fault, it was just that I had the wrong information, or I had, I was told something wrong. So essentially it wasn't my fault. So I think a lot of times when it comes to nutrition, there's an ownership thing about it. You know, like really, it is what we put into our mouths, and we control what we eat. You know, after we're whatever a baby, then you're controlling what you eat. And yeah, we want quick fixes. So like, really, there's so much bullshit that comes out in terms of like, you know, like newspapers are put like cherry picking information and saying, oh, this study says that a glass of wine can protect your heart, and then that's made headlines in 10 different papers, and they're saying to drink a glass a day of wine or something, or they just cherry pick some bit of information that has no practical implication for people from a nutrition point of view. Or it's Instagram, or it's, you know, like people don't necessarily need to be qualified or have done a degree and a master's to give nutrition advice. Now, it seems, you know, obviously that shouldn't be the case, and it should be, people should look where they're getting their information from, but that doesn't really happen. And especially now with Instagram, and that someone clicks onto Instagram and someone puts a few topless photos up and have 20,000 followers, it's kind of instant social proof, and people are like, right, they must know what they're talking about, and they can give me nutrition advice. Whether they've done a single day in nutrition training ever, or they're just, maybe have done a personal training course or whatever else it may be, like that happens a lot too. So more so than other professions, there's like a lot of conflicting information and a lot of like misinformation out there. And then on top of that, you've got to add in that, like, you know, there is conflicting information in terms of studies that go out, and then sometimes, you know, people with an ulterior motive would publish one study that says one thing, or like, I'll do a post up on it, but like that Game Changers film that came out recently about the plant-based diet, it's very, very biased and cherry-picked information to kind of promote a plant-based diet, which isn't, you know, like the information that's presented doesn't come up with that conclusion, but that's what they're trying to promote, and the people that are trying to promote it have a vested interest in creating, you know, plant-based products and selling books and all of this stuff. So there's just tons of misinformation out there, and you really don't know what people have kind of been through to get to where they are. But I mean, I'm all for trying to educate people. Like, I would, so really, like, if people are dealing with some of these scenarios, like, the best thing you can be is educated and make an informed thing and have the knowledge to know that, you don't need to have done a master's in it to be knowledgeable about like what you're putting into your body and stuff. And everyone here, I feel, is that way or is working towards being that way, and that's what we want. So the education is there, and then the likes of this, where we can just sit down and make a video and harbour a bit of discussion about that, is always really valuable. So as much as possible, keep that going. And then, yeah, I mean, that's about it really. Well, I'll post a comment now about maybe some other scenarios that people have to deal with, but I'm sure when people see, like, everyone has been through it. Like, I've had it recently enough. Like, I've had it with tons of different things, where I post something up and it says, oh, that's too big a meal, or if I did the 24-hour fast, or I did other things, people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't take creatine, or you're taking protein shakes. I've had to deal with all of that, and I'm sure all of you had too. So, yeah, I'm kind of rambling on, but it's just a funny kind of thing. Nutrition is just that kind of way. I mean, yeah, we can kind of guide through it together, I guess, but that's just kind of what you're up against with nutrition. So yeah, I'll post another comment, but any more questions or follow-up stuff on that, hopefully that kind of makes sense, or kind of sums up where our approach to it, or kind of some of the things that I guess you're dealing with.